Wondering whether you should remove your nails completely or infill them instead? By the end of this video, you'll be able to detect if and how to infill your Sassy Saints Dip Powder Manicure like a pro right at home. Infilling can not only save you time, but also protect your nails' health and keep them looking flawless. So what exactly is an infill? An infill is a method of rebalancing the product on the nail but without removing it. Unlike soaking off your nails in acetone, infilling allows us to keep the secure, non-lifted product on the nail as a foundation, and then we simply build on top, infilling any regrowth. What I mean by regrowth is the new nail growth that becomes visible at the base of the nail near to the cuticle area. So as the natural nail starts to grow out, it creates a gap between the cuticle and where the enhancement starts. This regrowth will eventually need to be infilled to maintain and keep the nail's health and strength. So why is it important to choose the right method of either an infill versus a soak off? Infilling can be quicker, gentler on the skin. The more times you perform an infill, the quicker and the more confident you'll become. Infills can be beneficial for maintaining extensions and if you want to grow out your natural nail underneath, but it's super important to only perform an infill under the right conditions, like having a layer of clear consciousness or vitamin base under your chosen dip powder colour, which allows you to not only easily switch up your chosen colours, but more importantly to check your nail health underneath and visibly detect for any lifting. For example, it can sometimes be difficult to identify any lifting over a dark colour. In turn, this could lead to nail issues such as uneven coverage or even infections, which we will cover in more detail as we go along. Now let's jump into the step-by-step process where I'll guide you through everything from prepping your nails to the final top coat. Follow along carefully. Now before we start the infill process, it's important to fully inspect your current manicure and ask yourself whether there are any signs of lifting, cracking or chipping. And not forgetting, did you apply either clear consciousness or vitamin base layer underneath your chosen colour? If your nails are lifting or cracking, stop here. Infilling isn't suitable and it's better to remove the product with acetone. But if your manicure is intact and does feel secure, we're good to go. Now, grab either your e-file or hand file or both. If you are using your e-file for the first time, I would highly advise that you watch the e-file instructions before continuing. So the goal here is to file off the top coat and the layers of colour until you're left with a smooth, even surface of the clear base product. Here's where we need to be very meticulous with our file work, turning your nail constantly to look at all the different angles of the nail plate and the product we're working on. Some key areas to focus on is to pay special attention to blending out the edge closest to the cuticles. And if you are still building up your confidence with your e-file, I would recommend to use the duo method by taking down the bulk with your e-file and then switch to your hand file to blend out this area, as it's super important not to file over your natural nail plate. Applying this technique each time will allow for a seamless blend when it comes to applying our base and dip layers. Also keep in mind that the apex will have grown further up the nail plate, so we want to now rebalance the apex to add strength back in when we base and dip, especially for longer nails. Also note that the length of your nails will have grown in the weeks since you last did this manicure. If your aim isn't to grow out your natural nails and they are getting too long for you to manage, I recommend filing some of the length down. Keep in mind that your nails will continue to grow in the coming weeks after infilling. And finally, my pro tip would be don't rush this step. Filing down the layers evenly is crucial to prevent a thick, chunky finish after we apply our new layers. So aim for a smooth surface with no harsh lines or ridges. And remember to turn the nail and keep checking from every angle. So once you've filed down all your nails until you've reached the clear base layer, you should now check your nails' health. You need to check your nails thoroughly that there are no signs of a bacterial infection. You should be looking for indicators that show a yellow, greenish or black stain that's trapped underneath the nail enhancement. There should be no signs of the product lifting, as water can get trapped under, causing this bacteria to grow. The natural nail underneath should look 100% clean and healthy. If there are any signs of a bacterial infection forming or that has formed, you now need to remove the whole nail by soaking it with acetone. If, however, your nails look clean and healthy, you can now start the infilling process. So once you've finished assessing your nails, from here on out, the following steps should feel pretty familiar, as we now need to go in and prep any regrowth near the cuticles. Gently pushing back your cuticles with your prep tool to release any stubborn cuticle off the nail plate. Next, you're going to lightly buff the new nail regrowth for the best adhesion and to achieve a nice transition. Now clean off all the dust with your powder brush and prime the entire nail, including the old product. This step is optional, however crucial for retention. So once you've chosen your dip powder colour, you should then decide if you want to infill with base and dip using the Apex method or the regular method. Both techniques are achievable when infilling, but the Apex method we recommend if your nails are slightly longer in length. But choose whichever works best for your nail type. In the following steps, I'll be showing the regular method. Now pick up base it and start to apply a thin layer over the entire nail. Now dip your nail into clear consciousness powder and tap off any excess. Dust away any remaining powder with your powder brush and clean around the cuticle area to avoid touching the skin. Repeat with a second layer of base it and dip your nail into clear consciousness. Once more, tapping off and dust away any excess with your powder brush and clean up around those edges. Now we are going to switch out from the clear to our chosen colour and apply your third layer of base it and dip into your chosen colour powder. Tap off and brush away any excess powder and clean up like so. Now apply a final layer of base it, nice thin even layers, and dip into your chosen colour. Tap off and brush away any excess powder and clean up. So now you've understood the importance of applying clear consciousness or vitamin base first to ensure that you've maintained your nail health visibility during your infills. It's worth noting that at this stage, if you notice that 2 layers of your chosen colour aren't enough to get a full vibrant colour that you want, you can now go in and add 1 more layer of base coat and dip powder. This extra layer will help you achieve a true colour payoff. Now you can apply your first layer of activator and allow it to dry for 2 minutes. Once dry, file the surface and refine the shape to smooth out any imperfections. What I mean by this is to make sure that you don't see the difference in where the old powder was to where the infill is. This should be a smooth transition. After this, you can then apply a second layer of activator and wait 2 more minutes. And last but not least, apply your top coat in 2 thin layers and allow each layer to dry for 2 minutes. This final step seals in your infill and gives your nails that glossy salon finish. Before we wrap things up, let's go over some common challenges and my expert tips. If you're struggling with lumps and bumps, try to focus on filing down the bulk and pay close attention to the perimeters around the nail, which will then in turn help quicken up your filing when it comes round to your next infill, helping with a smooth transition as we touched on earlier. And always remember to check your nails from multiple angles. If you begin to experience lifting after your infill, then check the prep process. Pay close attention, especially when cleaning up your cuticles, and don't forget to buff and prime your nails. And that's it. You successfully infilled your Sassy Saints Dip Powder Manicure like a pro. Remember, infilling is a fantastic way to save time and maintain longer nails, but always prioritize nail health. If you have any questions or want any more tips, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe to Sassy Saints tutorials. Thanks for watching.